And we are here with Beyond the Streams. I know we talked earlier about the pie. I did set up a pie, and but did you have you ever messed with any of within Kodi with any of those gaming builds?
I did put one on my Android box one time, but I found it very glitchy. It was early on, and I actually messed around. I was going to make a build, and I tried it, and was doing it myself. I found it to not run as smooth as I wanted, and I got frustrated because you still have to install all those emulators. Even if it's a build, you have to install those emulators. And you can't release that and put it on a Windows device or Windows Kodi. It has to be on Android because it's you're linking to that Android device, the Android emulators.
Yeah.
I just found it not to run really smooth. I found it way more hassle. If I did those builds, I didn't like it. I ended up, if I'm going to use retro on my shield, I use Retro X. I could go retro. I could do the retro arc. I could go and do it all myself. I did it. It's a lot of work. I went with Retro X. Franco created that, and for me, it was used to be a lifetime charge. It was like $12 you had it for lifetime, which I still do if you were grandfathered in. But it's a plug and play kind of thing, and it's just you point it at your ROMs, boom, you're done. And so it was more hassle than what I thought I could gain from it. So it was kind of like, no. And like you said, RetroPie to me blows them all away. Or the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi with my RetroPie images, that's it's the beast.
That's what I ended up doing too, because this is funny. Next Level and I, every time we talk, anytime we have a live show, we always shit on the shield. Always. I have the shield. I love the shield.
Not on purpose. I swear it's not on purpose.
It's not, but it's always like there's always something like, damn, I'm paying this much money and I have this issue. Why? 4K Fire Stick, same issue, and I'm paying a fraction of that. So we always, and you can't compare the two devices. When you look at that operating systems, what they have, the power and stuff like that. So I'm about to shit on the shield again. the retro gaming on the shield, from my experience, this is why I got to the Raspberry Pi. I had a very nasty lag on the remote. I was trying to play Punch Out and I wasn't fast enough, and I'm just like, I know I'm clicking faster than what I'm seeing, and it wasn't syncing. I don't know what it was, but have you experienced anything like that with the shield, like lags or anything?
Only time I've had issues on my shield is on certain emulators. Like Retro X, great emulator. It's great it encompasses all the emulators, okay? Because he that's the front end. It's the front end. It's what you see. He links into RetroArch on the back end, but you know that certain emulators are better than others. Dreamcast, for example. Okay, so he has Dreamcast linked to one emulator. Well, I don't like that emulator running in RetroX. I actually installed a standalone emulator, which was Red. I'd have to look. It's Red something. It's its own. It's a standalone or Dream. It's Dream something. So Redream. Excuse me. All right, my brain's clicking. So it's called Redream. It's its own emulator that runs the Dreamcast great. So a lot of times it's what emulator are you linking it into, and if it's configured correctly, if you're playing Punch Out, are you playing the arcade version? Are you playing the Nintendo version, the Super Nintendo? Yeah. See, so it'd make you wonder. All right, so what emulator is that linked to? Because NES has how many emulators?
Oh yeah.
So it could have been a bad emulator. So, and Raspberry Pi, on the other hand, well, they're pre-configured and they're optimized. Whoever creates the image optimizes it, so it does run. It runs good, and it's also not doing nothing else.
Yeah,
it's running gaming. Whereas the Shield, how many other things are running in the background on my Shield? Even though I'm not doing it, it's running other processes. So, to be fair, it's doing other things. So that's. for me, I do gaming on the Raspberry Pi, Shield once in a while. But again, it was just like a hobby. The RetroPie was like a hobby. It's like, I'm gonna put it in its own little. I got a little Sega Genesis case,
Nice.
so it looks like a little mini Sega Genesis because I loved the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So I put it in that kind of case. So it was fun. I mean, it was a good little project. Now I break it out if people come over. That's people come over and be like, hey, you want to play some games?
The nostalgia.
Yeah.
How many controllers do you hook up to that?
It can have 4. I only usually put 2 because the case has 2 in the front and then 2 on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had a keyboard dongle, I think, was plugged into one of those ports, but I only have 2 joysticks. I don't have that many. I don't normally have 4 people over here. Usually just me and a couple people. So usually I just do 2-player games, but I know that it has the 4 ports. And I bought wired controllers because I kept hating that you don't use it for how long, and you go to use it and the damn batteries are dead on your PlayStation controller. It's like, oh, okay. So I went to Walmart, paid $19 for. It's like a cord goes all the way over there, so it's got to be an 8-foot, 10-foot cord that goes to the. So I can sit on the couch and play it.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about the Bluetooth.
I have the Bluetooth ones, and I've noticed that sometimes, again, that slight lag, and then I ended up getting one wired one, and then it was pretty crisp. So I've stuck with. I need to get more wired ones.
They're cheap.
But, yeah. I was gonna. I don't know. Do you follow current gaming stuff?
Somewhat. I mean, I was playing Call of Duty when it came out, and because I liked it because it was cross-platform.
Mm-hmm.
Blue has an Xbox. My son has a PS4 and a PC. I'm a PC player. All the guys I work with are PC or Xbox guys, so we were playing there for a while. And I love the cross-platform part.
Yeah.
And, I thought I was going to be a beast in it. I'm like, I'm on my computer with my mouse. I'm going to own every one of you guys. Not so much. And then I blamed my bad monitor. Mm-hmm. Then I blamed I didn't have enough RAM. Then I blamed that my glasses weren't the right prescription. They were getting old. And then I realized, no, it's just that I'm old. And, those reactions are not what they were when you're even 30. Yeah, I mean, they're just not as fast. I mean, I'm thinking, whereas I watch my son play, he's not thinking. He's just
they don't think. Yeah, same thing with my son.
I'm watching him jump off a building, and as he's falling, shoots 2 guys as he's dropping.
Yep.
I'm like, you didn't even aim. He goes, yeah, I did. I'm like, no, you didn't. Me, I'm jumping, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not aiming. No. Yep. Oh, I'm on the ground already. Okay,
yeah.
Well, never mind.
Did you ever play Fortnite?
Yes. I played Fortnite for about a week when I first got this computer, and I struggled with the building. I liked the shooting and killing. I hated the building. That they get the wood and and I watch my son play. I'm watching him. He's throws the wood down, jumps, throws the wood down, throws the wood down, and just. I was like, how do you do that? He goes, oh, you set the buttons up like this. And again, that I'm thinking the button
too much.
Yeah, I'm like, you build and I'll just run behind you.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was when we were playing on a team. He was tended to. He was always having to protect me and be like, oh, watch out, Dad. That guy's over there. Get behind me. And I was like, oh, I didn't see that guy way over there. That's like, it's kind of like, I felt like the handicapped guy that my son's like, yeah, that's just my dad. He sucks. So we're going to try to keep him alive towards the end of the game.
That's how I feel now too.
Yeah. It's funny. I was playing with my nephew and he was doing the same thing to me. This kid's, well, he's 8 now, but he was 7 when he was showing me how to do it. And actually, he just turned 7, so he was actually 6 when he first showed it to me. But he was just like, yeah, like he showed me on the remote. He's like, you go like this, and I'm like, what the hell's that? Like, I don't know
what you just do.
Yeah, I'm like, you look like you're throwing gang signs at me, dude. Put your hands down, man.
Yeah, you're gonna get a shot.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a shot in real life.
In real life.
Yeah,
and so. I started to learn, like I got to the point where I can shoot and put one wall in front of me. I'm working on the ramp now.
Yeah, you're doing better than me. I'm telling you, I gave that up after it was a week. And I was like, no, this ain't me. This ain't me. And I mean, I just no, it's just not me. And I have and that's why I do retro, because I can turn it on and play for just a few minutes. I can jump and play Frogger and then turn it off, and then I can go play Galaga and then turn that off, and then I can jump over there and play Dragon's Lair, and then I can turn that off, and then I can go play some Super Nintendo. And I'm not invested. You know, most of those games you need to invest a lot of time, and I look at that mountain of time. I'm like, no, that's all right. I'll stay right here.
Well, speaking of investment, wanted to show you this. Check this out. Sony spends $250 million for a minority stake in Epic Games, which is Fortnite. You know, so Sony has invested $250 million into Fortnite developer Epic Games. Through this move, the Japanese gaming giant has acquired a minority stake in Epic. When I see stuff like this, I thought Disney owned part of Epic, because you always see some of those, you know, the skins that they have, they're like, here's Captain America or the Avengers, or, you know, and then now I see this, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know. What do you think?
In retrospect, for me, $250 million for Epic is not a big percentage. It's just enough to get them to be heard at their table.
Yeah. And there's so much money in that type of game, which is a free game, but you're paying for all the perks in the game, which is a brilliant strategy. It's to me, get people in cheap. I played World of Tanks. I don't know if you guys ever played World of Tanks. It was a PC game, free to play. But if you wanted to have some of the other perks or the extra things, you pay that extra. And I ended up paying to play World of Tanks for years. I was paying about $100 a year, plus I would buy other items throughout the year. And I never had a CD. I never, you know.
Yeah.
So Fortnite does it. They're like, hey, you know, you're free to play, but if you want these other extra incentives or these extra things, you know, which is smart.
And they're expensive.
You know, yeah.
They're very, like, one skin, you get one character here for $20. It's like, why $20?
Well, I guess if your mom or dad gives you a credit card, you don't care.
I mean, they don't understand, the kids today. They don't understand what the value of actual money is. You know,
because most of them don't have to earn it.
No.
And the one thing I did notice with Fortnite, it's very
trendy.
Well, it's not trendy. It's like a what is the word? Like Facebook. It's a community. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a huge community. Like they've been able to stay so relevant, and like literally, like my brother-in-law and he'll text me, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Well, dinner, probably watch a show, whatever we're watching, and then go to sleep." He's like, "Let's play Fortnite." Okay. And we'll jump on Fortnite and just, hey, how's your day? How's your weekend? When you we're literally talking like if we're on a regular phone call while we're playing the game. And I've done that to some of my cousins. Sometimes I get my nephews in there, and it's literally just it's just like this. We're just talking, hanging out.
Yeah.
And every now and then we'll stop. We're like, hey, stop. Dude, I'm getting shot, you know?
Well, it's funny you say that because, all right, so my son is 25. Well, he'll be 25 this year. So, and he doesn't live with me. You know, he lives in his own place. So I wasn't talking to him all the time. When we were playing Call of Duty together, I was talking to him every day or every other day. And like you said, it was more, so how was work today? And, you know, we'd be in a team. So, and when I played, I would mute all the other players in the game except for the people on my team. So me and Blue, and then that was also a way for him to actually get to talk to Blue and become more comfortable with her, because, you know, he wasn't as comfortable at the beginning of, and he's still, because he's just kind of slow to warm to people. So it put him in a place where he was comfortable in gaming. She loves gaming. And so it put him in a comfortable place that we could play, and then he could be, he's talking to her and she's talking and talking about whatever. And you're right, it does create a very social thing. And especially, like I said, with being cross-platform, it made it, you didn't have to have the same system. And that's the best part of that.
Mm-hmm. The reason I say trendy, though, was because of how they took viral videos and took snippets of it and turned it into dances or actions or skins or whatever. And that's how they stay relevant as well, too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
It's a great business model. They're hitting on all cylinders, because I like I said, I played it and I think, oh, this is so fun. And then I was like, oh, this ain't as much fun for me.
You know what's the funny thing about some of those dances is that they'll call it something different from what we know it as.
Because what remember the Carlton? Carlton sued them because he said they was doing his dance, and he tried to sue him, and the court said, no, we're not going to give you that.
Yeah,
but
he was another content creator created the one, I think it's called Best Friends or Hanging with My Friends or something like that, and he tried to get something too, and he couldn't.
Yeah, the way they did it, Fortnite did it really smart, because I was reading on those lawsuits, and what they did was they did two things. I think the only way you could win it is if you use the same exact sequence with a similar song that however they did it. So with like the Carlton, if it was the same song or the same tune, and if the sequence was identical, he would have won. But Fortnite was very smart, where they're just like, you know what, we're going to take the sequence and just change one little tiny thing, which makes it now different.
Yeah, but when you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, I know that dance.
Us, we're like,
it doesn't have to be perfect. For us, you look at it.
Totally agree. See, now that I know the consoles that you got and that you got Fortnite, we're gonna have to play Butch.
All right. Well, I'll have to reinstall. It's on my PC. I only have a PC, so I'd have to reinstall it on my PC.
That's fine. And we'll do one of these. We're just chilling, talking, and maybe we'll get Next Level to get on here too, since he's got that Xbox.
I'm horrible at Xbox. I'm horrible playing games now. I used to play like religiously every night, and then once my son got old enough, I just took my headphones off and I handed it to him, and I haven't touched it since.
Hey, this could be the squad.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Well, yeah. If you got a Retro Pi, did you know that you can actually play? We could play arcade games or PlayStation or Nintendo together. We actually can play as if it's two players.
Wow!
If you can go into RetroArch, it's a setting that you can actually enable it. And I can't remember what it was called. When Virtual Man was on my show, he talked about it. And you could turn it on, and we could actually play a two-player game. You on your RetroPie, me on my RetroPie. We play. You'd have to have the audio would have to be through something else, but the gameplay would be through that.
That's cool.
So,
we're gonna,
which I thought was a great idea. I mean, I was like, you could play two players. And,
and we could do the audio and video right through StreamYard here.
Yeah. That's. Well, we do that for watching movies. StreamYard's great for watching movies. Blue and I we'll have a date night. So we'll go. I'll turn this on, and then we'll sync up with Plex. You know how Plex has it sync.
It works so good.
Sync up a movie. We hit it. We mute this, or my phone, depends on which way I'm doing it. Mute it, and we're watching it. And then if she sees something and she wants to say something, she unmutes and says, "Oh, I can't believe he did that." And then I'll mute. Oh, I just, it's like you're sitting beside somebody, but you're not. It's so weird, the technology we have now. I mean, for her, she's in Canada. I'm in the US right now. So it's weird that you're able to do those things.
Yeah. Or us too. You're in the East Coast, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm in the West. Next Level's up in the North. Yeah, it's cool how technology has taken us so far. I wanted to show you one more thing, talking about retro stuff. This is one thing that
I saw this. And I'm thinking, damn. I had that game. But
the original
in the box.
In the box. So yeah, so in the box, 100. This is it says Canadian dollars. How much is that in
It's
US?
114 US if you scroll down a bit.
So okay, so original Super Mario Brothers cartridge sells for 114,000 USD. Holy crap. And what is it? It was okay, so it got a rating of a 9.4. This is unopened, unused, nothing. Is like this is nuts. I can't believe somebody.
That's just like it was in the stores back then. Remember, they used to put it behind on that glass where you couldn't, so you couldn't stuff it in your pocket and leave.
Yeah.
I mean, how much did? And I mean, Super Mario Brothers was okay. I mean, I really enjoyed. Zelda to me. That was the game that was.
Zelda was good.
Oh my gosh, I played so many hours of Zelda. Played and played. My friends would come over, and that was when they would come over, and we would play Zelda. And because you could save, right? So you'd have your saves. They would bring their cartridge over, and then they would plug it in. They're like, "Hey, I found this bush you got to burn." So, and they would show me, go here. You burn this one bush right here. Oh, there's a little tunnel down there. I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd you find that? So then I'd have to put my cartridge in. All right, let me play. So we played Zelda, and it was more of a. I was probably, I was in my early 20s then. And like I said, my friends they'd come over. There was another couple, and we would just play that and play that and play that. And once you finished it, the game changed. The second time through, it was completely different. Things weren't in the same places. Great games. I mean, if you go back and look I've got an old Vectrex. Have you guys ever heard of a Vectrex?
Nope.
Yeah, look up a Vectrex. Now, it was its own TV. It was a polygon. It did the polygon shapes. Yeah. So it was like an asteroids looking thing, but it had its own TV, and you plug the cartridges in the side of it. So remember back in the day, guys, when there was only one TV in your house, and you'd have to, your parents would, if they were watching your TV, there was no way you were going to get on your system. I'm going to play my Atari. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, back then I wanted to play the Atari. So it came with its own TV, and you had like a little overlay that you would slide the screen over it. Yeah. Now that I've only known one other person that actually had one of those systems. That was my big Christmas present one year. It was the only thing I wanted, and my parents got it for me. You plug the cartridges there in the side if you go up right there, that hole, that's where the cartridge went in. The little gamepad like locked right into the front of the system. And now when you scroll down, you'll see the overlay. It had the overlay that you would slide over the go back, or because it was on the full screen. Yeah, see the overlay? That's that green thing.
Oh yeah.
So the green thing, what you would do is slide that over the front of the screen. So depending on the game, like if it was a tank game, it would be the outline of the buildings. And you would play that and played that. And the great thing, like I said, was that you didn't have to use your parents' TV. And they did a lot of knockoffs of like asteroids and stuff like that. But those systems there, you can find them on eBay. People selling them for $200, $300, $400.
Really?
Yeah. I still got one.
I might get one just for the hell of it.
Of course,
it's neat. It's well, for me, I have it. It's just when I plug that thing and I hear that the little 8-bit. The sound was terrible on it compared to now. And you put the overlay so you could actually see the buildings because you had a tank. And I remember one where it was a helicopter coming in, and you had a Jeep, and you'd have to shoot the helicopter. And you'd just drive around the buildings. And great system that very few people. That's actually on my Raspberry Pi image, that the latest one I got. I think this is the 400 gig image, and it had Vectrex games on it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Now, here's the thing. With that Mario game sealed and everything, $114,000. I know, crazy price. Like it's almost like who would buy? Oh, I don't know, but
people with more money than sense.
So if money wasn't an issue, and if you run into that, what is it called? Vectrex?
Vectrex, yeah.
if money wasn't an issue, how much money would you spend to get one of those if it was still sealed in the box?
None.
None?
No, I don't see a value in that. I mean, value if I have it and it's something I can play, but like something still sealed in the box, I wouldn't. Well, this is what I would buy if money was no object, and in my gaming side. There's two things I would buy. Number one, I would buy a full-size console. I will put a supercomputer in it, and I'll put all of my emulators, and I'll make it a four-player console, a cabinet, 4-player cabinet. I will use a nice flat screen TV, but I would use a high thing. The second thing I've thought about buying it is one of those virtual pinball machines. You can buy some of those virtual pinball machines that are the LED TV screen here. It's a TV screen there, and they run in a PC. There's a PC with a GeForce card inside it, all that stuff. Stick a big hard drive in it, and you can actually change out what pinball machine, and they'll actually move. It's got the nudge.
Yeah.
And I would buy that. Those are the two things I would buy. Because Blue and I talked about it, and she says, "Well, would you put that in your man cave?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I've looked at them. To buy a virtual pinball machine, if you really fix it good, you're going to drop about $2,000, if not $3,000, to build a really good one. And I'm like, is it really worth that? I mean, I could go cheaper on certain aspects of it, but that to just be able to push the button and flip the whole screen and the whole game, the board is different. You're playing Kiss pinball machine. Flip it over, and now you're playing the Addams Family. They also have the 3-dimensional graphics that are going across the board, like, well, a witch will fly across this thing, so it's not, you know what I mean? It adds all of that CG that's in it. So that's if money was an object, those are the two things I would probably buy. That's gaming wise. The other stuff, buying something to set it on the shelf,
no.
But we see this happen all the time where something is determined to be retro, so it's worth more money, right? What do you think going forward is something that you could see that would be very viral today, but could be retro in the future?
I think Game Boys or PSPs. I think those, especially Game Boys, if you could get because you got to think of the generation, those kids were able to take that everywhere they went. I know my kids did.
Do you think the digital age is killing the retro marketplace because we no longer have cartridges and CDs and DVDs?
Well, yeah, it's losing out there. And the thing about it, just like when you say digital, I think about my pictures. All right, I have photo albums from when I was a kid. Got lots of pictures when I was a little kid. I have pictures of my kids when they were small that my parents took with a camera. Other than that, where are all my pictures?
Right.
They're on a cloud, on a memory card. If something ever happens, those are gone. So the digital part worries me down the road. I think that some of the digital, you're going to have a hard time because it can be gone. Just a hard drive going bad, it's gone. You can't get it back. It used to be, hey, the house had to burn down or water damage or something had, something bad. A hard drive going bad on your computer happens every day with people. So
I have an old Seagate that had tons of pictures on there. And this was a few months back. My grandma passed, and I was looking at just for some old pictures, and I was putting stuff together. And I did everything that I could to get this sucker to turn back on. And when I did, like everything was missing on there, like it was blank. So I'm just like, you know what? I had to send it off somewhere. Yep. You know what?
Yeah,
you know
how much
what
that cost you? How much that cost you?
Yeah, it was expensive. They had to get, they
data recovery.
Yep. Pull the disc out, and they had to do that whole thing. And the worst part about it was they got a lot of stuff. They got 90% of the stuff. That 10% is what I wanted.
Of course.
You know,
you always want the
yeah.
It's that part you don't have is what you were on.
Yeah. So now I have on my computer, I got 2 regular hard drives and 2 solid state drives. And 3 of them out of the 4, 3 of them, it's like, here's the main one, here's a backup, and here's a backup. Yeah. Plus my external.
Yeah. You learn that lesson. Plus you got the cloud services.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many of my images are my pictures are on my own little Google account? Because they give you a certain amount. So yeah, I put a lot of stuff that way, and I've got a VHS tapes of like when my kids, because I was that dad with the walk around with the big VHS camera. Then I got the little small hand one, which is uses like those little mini ones. I bought that, and I have all those. So, my kids will at some point, because my dad had the 8mm camera. Wow. So I have 8mm film of me as a little kid.
That's awesome.
No sound, but my dad, filming, and he did a magic show, and he actually even made a Star Wars. He had did it down in the basement, blacked it out, and he put he had a Star Trek, and it was the Enterprise, and he had glow a black light down there with the glow planets, and then he moved the camera in like it was moving, and then he had the Klingons. He had a Klingon ship, and you saw the Klingon ship, and he had it go by, and then he saw the Enterprise go by, and then the Klingon ship by, and then he went and did the little red line, the red string, the glow string that went like it was shooting the Enterprise. But yeah, that was his, and I've got that on 8mm, and you watch it, and it's only a minute long, couple minutes long, but him doing that, because he liked that stuff. He's like, yeah, I'll make a movie. So here's my Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fun. That's awesome. That's super cool. I remember those big old camcorders that you're talking about. It's yeah, and the tapes. You got to put the big, huge tape in there.
VHS, yeah, back VHS tapes. Yeah, I got plenty of those.
Yeah, I still got mine too. So so this is towards the end of the show. If anybody's out there watching, listening, whatever platform you are, go ahead and leave us a comment below. Let me know, let all of us know, what is it, maybe something new that you've learned from this. I know a lot of people know that have used Cody in the past. They've known of Noobs and Nerds and some of the old stuff when everything was in one group. That was new to me. So it's pretty cool to hear some of those stories, but make sure you guys let us know in wherever you're listening at. Just go ahead and leave us a comment there. Next level, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, it was a really good conversation. A lot of good context to a lot of different things, going all the way from streaming to gaming to what's modern in news today. It's always a good time to sit back and talk with people in the community. So I appreciate having the time with DaButcher and Rojas and myself, just hanging out, just shooting the crap here, just telling each other about our stories and some of the tech that we grew up with and the experiences that we had. So I appreciate it all. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. Butcher, anything you got to say?
Thanks again for having me on. It's an honor to be asked to come on a show. I've done lots of hosting for my own shows, and I know that it's hard to get it all together and get people to come on. And it's, I'm here to support anybody that's in the community that's trying to do something. You're trying to do some projects. I'm here to help. I'll help however you need me to help. And again, I just ask everybody, if everybody does a little part to help other people, share whatever knowledge you learned along the way. You don't have to be a computer whiz to help somebody. If you've learned some stuff in Kodi or an APK or some streaming or device, you've learned something, share that knowledge with somebody else. Don't just hoard that knowledge, because if you feed them with a little bit of knowledge, they might take that little bit of knowledge and take it and build upon that. And that's what I've always tried to do. I don't know everything, but I will share whatever knowledge I have with other people, hoping that it blossoms into something more. And that's what this community is about. It's about sharing, growing, and everybody gains from it when everybody shares the knowledge. And that's what open source is about, is sharing what you know. And that's what I'm just hoping everybody does. And thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, man. And you also have your own YouTube channel, right?
Yep. I've got my own YouTube channel. I do Friday nights is about streaming. Friday nights at 5 p.m. I talk about streaming, and then on Wednesday nights we do movies. We review 2 movies, and we ask the community to join. If you've watched the movie, we ask you to join and to talk about the movie, what you thought. You don't have to be a tech whiz to be able to tell me if you thought the movie sucked or was great. This week we're doing Hamilton, The Old Guard, and the throwback movie was The Hoosiers. So Wednesday night we'll be doing that. So that's that's what we're hoping, is that people would jump on the show and tell us what they think about that particular movie that we're talking about, or those movies we're talking about.
Cool. And it's very, very simple to find DaButcher. Just type in DaButcher.
Yeah. It's just a guy with some glasses, kind of nerdy looking. That's me. That's me.
Sometimes we send over people from our live shows on Fridays.
Yes.
My channel, and then your show usually starts around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
And my show on my channel starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we finish usually around 4:30. Sometimes we'll get close to 5. So it's just nice to kind of keep that flow going. If we can just kind of direct the traffic to the next channel, the next live show, the next content, whatever it is, and just keep it going with the community. I think it's really awesome.
Well, I want to thank you. I've thanked you guys on my show, and I've seen it, and there'll be like, Next Level sent me here, Rojas sent me here, and I'll see it'll be 4, 5, 6 people right in a row. It's like boom, boom, Next Level sent me here, Rojas sent me. I'm like, their show just finished. Thanks, because that's the fun thing. I've been on I'll be on different people's show and tell them about this or that. It's just about supporting each other.
For real.
And we can go back to the old days. I mean, Husham got me started. He was the first person to let me on his show. And I didn't know Jack. And he let me on his show. And Joe Nobody. And I go back to some of those people that let me on their show and gave me nuggets of wisdom. And I give props to Joe for encouraging me to do my own channel and my own shows, because I didn't like what Husham was doing. I wanted to do something different. And Joe says, do it. I say, I don't know. I don't know if people watch me. I don't want Husham to be mad at me. He goes, no, if something you want to do, you need to do it. And if you remember Joe Nobody, and that was what kind of, I grew from that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my own show. I don't care if I'm not a humongous channel. And you know what? I don't care. The people that watch me, I hope they learn something. That's all that matters. If I have 10 subscribers or 10 million subscribers, hey, learn a little something from me. I hope. And laugh, because I like to laugh at myself. I like to have a good time.
Me too. Absolutely. Joe Nobody is always, he's definitely one of the first people that I've watched, and I've loved I love his intros when he slams on the desk and you hear all the beer bottles and the caps.
And that was real too.
That was real.
I mean, that was real, because if you knew Joe, he was a truck driver, and he wasn't working. That was back when you could do YouTube full time and make money. You could Husham and all them. They that's how they made their money. It's like boom, boom, bang, bang, bing, bang, and he was like hitting the table, and the beer bottles would be falling. He's like, this is the greatest add-on out there. Bam, boom, bang. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But even when you were off air and we were in the Hangouts, he was the same guy. He was, drinking the whole time. And nice guy. But, if it got to be 2 o'clock in the morning, it was quite interesting to be up with him at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's been drinking all day. You never knew where the conversation was going. Sometimes it got scary back in those days. I'd be like, Joe, turn your camera off. I don't want to see this.
Yeah. It was always the slam and then XBMC fucking Cody.
Yeah. And he had that accent, that New York accent, or what he had, and it's just great guy. I mean, he was a good guy. I mean, he had his bumps in the road, but yeah, I hate seeing those guys. I used to like watching those guys. They were fun. And there's so few YouTubers doing this stuff now because YouTube has gotten so hard. That's why for me, I dance around it a lot. I don't do build videos. Well, unless someone asks me. I'm very careful about add-on videos. Unless someone asks me, and then I try to dance around it because we know YouTube doesn't play about that, and you know they will hit you. And I mean, most of my videos are limited, or I can't monetize them. I don't care. I click to monetize the video, and it'll do this little spin, limited. I don't care what video I make; it's gonna say limited right off the bat. So it's like, all right, whatever. Okay.
I had a literally. Well, you know, my channel. It was called Cody Tutorials. And that's all I did. Just pure Cody stuff, add-ons, builds, how-tos, and I noticed that you know, some people were getting their channels taken down. And I think what did it for me was I had my first strike, and I was like, I didn't even show anything, you know. And that's why I was like, okay, I got to slowly backpedal. And I noticed with the APKs, people were getting strikes on that. And I was starting to do a few APKs, and I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I can't go this direction either. And that's how I got into what I'm currently doing with, you know, I'll do some add-ons, some apps, very careful. Again, I do a lot of home products, tech stuff now, and I try to broaden it up a lot bigger. So yeah, and sometimes I do miss those type of videos because I'm just like, man, like there's so many things that people can do with this. And the few people that are kind of still doing it, and it's just like, dude, you're not really showing them what people can do with. I'm like, this is so, you know, I don't want to bash on anybody, but there's some videos that I'm just like,
they're terrible. They're terrible. No, I'll be honest. There's some guys that are doing YouTube videos that I'm watching that do add-on stuff. They talk about the settings for freaking 10 minutes and then show the build for 2. I'm like, I don't give you. I don't care about the settings that's in Cody, because guess what? It's in the same. The settings are there. You go change in this and that setting and talk about this and that. Talk about why I want to have that build compared to what I'm already using.
Right.
But no, they'll talk about the stupidest thing. I'm thinking it gets me fired up when I'm watching those guys. I'm like, you are, or they'll be in an ad for selling a VPN for 10 minutes before they even talk about what I'm like, what? This is like bait and switch. And that was to me. I wasn't here. I have a job, so it wasn't to make money. If I make a few bucks off YouTube, which I got to check off YouTube, took a year and a half, but I don't care. But it was about, I'm like, give people content to learn something, not just, hey, sign up for this VPN service because that's what you need.
I'm not gonna lie. I've sent Rojas videos of me watching somebody else's video, and when they give the wrong information, I pause the video and I'm like, "Stop it! Just stop."
Yeah.
I told him too. I was like, you know, I think I've only done one bashing video ever since I've been on YouTube. I've done one bashing video, and that was with Solus.
Surprise.
And we brought up something that Touchstone was doing way back when, and Solo Man, and you know, you can imagine. So we were we were just
magazine. You want a magazine?
Magazine, yeah.
Selling IPTV, we're doing it all.
So we did a whole bashing video. That's the only time I did it, and I did it on his channel. And I told Next Level, I was like, you know, we should do like what's grinding my gears type of video, and just rant.
That's my after shows.
Yeah.
when I do my live shows after it, that's when, if people are on my show, and because I try to be a little bit more politically correct on how I say things, I try not to bash people on my show. I'll maybe give little bits of what I think on certain, but when it gets off when it's off air, and people are in the thing, and then they'll say, "What do you think about that?" I'm like, "Well, you know," and that's when I'm like, "I'll be honest now. You ask me one-on-one, I'm gonna tell you who I think of that person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I think about this and that." You know, the only bash video I did was on Mitch. You remember Mitch?
Yeah, I remember.
Mitch did a thing on Noobs and Nerds in our gen template and said we were trying to ruin Cody, and said that Jay Sergio was trying to help us ruin Cody. He did a whole, and I was like, there was so many inaccuracies that I had to do a video to say, and I went through, I had a list of everything that was incorrect that he said. And I said, and he said this, and I gave that's incorrect. And then I went down, I'm like, and the next thing he said was this, that's incorrect. And I went step by step by step by step. Everything was wrong. And I'm like, you know, I'm not here to bash on the guy, but if he's going to do things, get your information correct. That's all I'm asking. And I got more hate off of that one video than any video I've ever made. And I've not made a retract video or a comeback video when people have done videos about me, because there has been some people that have done videos bad mouthing me. I got nothing to say. I'm not going to do a video to offset what you just said, because then the tennis match begins. And you know what? You got to say what you got to say. Fine. I don't care. That's I learned because I had so much negative off that video, and I was like, but I felt like he was attacking my group, and that Mitch was attacking my group, and that I was protective of my guys. And I was only saying this is true. I wasn't calling him a name. I was just saying, hey, he's incorrect about X, Y, Z, ABC. It was a lot of things he was incorrect with. Yeah. And I just said, hey, you're incorrect on these things. I wish you would get your facts, fix your videos, say the correct information. And yeah.
I do remember a video that you did a while back on that. I remember watching it and I just cracking up. I was like, dude. But Next Level kind of reels me in all the time. He's like, no, he's the one that brings it to me. Says, check this out. This guy has and I'm like, let's go. And he's like, no, we shouldn't.
He takes you to the edge of the building and says, no, I'm going to talk you back off the ledge.
Yeah, right. Push you right to the edge. I'm
going to push you there. No, I'm doing the right thing. I'm pulling you back. Come on. Yeah. No, I'm the level-headed one here. Let's step back from that.
Yeah. So we have yet to do a video. Thanks to Next Level.
Yeah.
But that's probably it's a good thing. It's like you said, it's sometimes, because there's been a few times where sometimes we'll talk about stuff and we're just like, yeah, that probably wouldn't be a good video, because like you said, a lot of people want to come on here and learn something and be shown something that's cool, and you will find the crowd that loves the drama.
Yep. Oh yeah. There's numerous YouTubers that grew quick because of the drama.
Yeah. So I've always on my channel, I've always stayed away from it. And I grew my stuff just on the fact of just teaching and showing stuff. And if I get the information wrong, I'll do a video later and be like, hey, I got this wrong. Check this out. This is how you do it. Or I'll check in with Solus.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah. But I just want to thank you for coming. This has been great. And what are the chances that you would come back and do this again?
Whenever. I mean, if I'm able, to me, like I said, supporting people however want, talk about whatever subjects, and I'm not short-winded, so that's probably a bad person to have on your show. So but yeah, and I'll be honest, I understand how hard it is to get guests on your show a lot of times, or because trying to get people to come on my Stream and Matter show, and I put a blanket out there of saying, hey, come on my show, because I don't want to say my feelings hurt, but it bothered me that I would ask people, and I felt like I was begging. And I feel like I was out peddling myself, like, hey, you want to come on my show? And they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, maybe. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they're going to come on. And then if you get coming close to the time, I'm sending them messages and they're damn ghosting me, and then it's like, oh, well, I guess they're not going to come on my show. So now I put it out there. I put it on Twitter and I'll put it on my, on the video. If you want to come on, come on. My platform is wide open to anybody that's in the community that wants to share some information. If you're a simple builder, you're an add-on guy, you got some tricks that you've learned, welcome to come on my show. Share any information. Don't have to turn your camera on if you're bashful. I don't care. Just share So yeah, I'll come on anytime. You guys are more than welcome. If you see me doing a video, hit me up on Telegram. I'll send you the link, as long as it's not unless I got some set topic.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if I have a special guest, a certain guest, I'll say, all right, this show is set for this guest. But yeah, anytime you let me know, and I'll be on here to shoot the stuff with you, and you're more than welcome to come on Friday nights. Or if you watch one of the movies that we do, you can come on a Wednesday and jump in there and give us your thoughts on a movie, on one of the movies that we're talking about that week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for sure. All right. So one thing, we always do one thing here towards the end. So one of the things that we always like to say, there's things that we say at the end of our videos. We kind of combine our things. So it goes back with what you're saying is, you know, make sure you guys are teaching everybody, make sure you guys are helping each other out. Come back. If you're listening to this, make sure you guys go check out DaButcher. He's got his YouTube channel. You can learn a lot of stuff. One thing that I always tell everybody is you guys take care of each other.
Stay humble and be patient.
And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.